Hi, thanks for joining me today. I'm John Murgis. I'm a licensed independent clinical social worker working mainly with individuals with autism, Asperger's, and pervasive developmental delay and their families. You can learn more about me and my work at my website, www.johnmurgis.com. You can also purchase my book, Social Enjoyment Groups for Children, Teens, and Young Adults with Autism Spectrum Disorders. It's published by Jessica Kingsley in London and available around the world. I hope you had a chance to watch my introductory video in which I talk about the principles that I use in my work. That's called Guiding Towards Growth, and we're going to talk about one of those principles today, and that's the band of regulation. All of us need to be within a band of regulation in order to learn best. Too much stress, too much anxiety, too much sensory input can put us out of our band and make it really hard for us to focus and learn. We can also be under-aroused. We can be too tired, we can be too bored, we can be too unfocused, and that makes it hard. So all human beings have a band of regulation, and individuals with ASD have a band of regulation. However, the difference is this. For a person with ASD, it's a lot smaller, a lot narrower, a lot harder to stay in that band and to work and to learn. Now we know about the band of regulation by working with young children. Those of us that are parents certainly know that when children are young, it's our job to modify our behavior. We can't go on living like we did before we had kids. Things have to change. And they have to change in a way that accommodates the youngsters. When they're hungry, they need to be fed. When they're tired, they need to be down. When they're wet, they need to be changed. We have to do that. That means we have to plan our lives around what we're going to do in order to help our young people stay within the band of regulation. We know that it's our job to read the regulatory state of young children and intervene. Now, when children get older and they're teenagers, they begin to develop the skills to note their state of regulation. They begin to know that they're hungry. They begin to know that they're tired. They begin to know that they're overexcited. And with that, they begin to then develop the skills to change that state of regulation. Instead of us feeding them a few crackers, they might eat a snack. Instead of us telling them, hey, let's take a nap, they might lay down and rest. And so they begin to recover and return to learning when they have slipped out of a regulated state. However, individuals with ASD experience delays in their ability to do just that. The delays in their ability to notice their state of regulation, to understand it, to understand what's going on with them, and ability to change that. Remember, it's not that they can't do this, but that their ability to do this is going to come later than their same aged peers. We have to plan, accommodate, and modify longer for an individual with ASD. Most importantly, we have to think about individuals with ASD as being incapable of learning unless they're solidly within their band of regulation. That might be a little harsh to say incapable, but I really want professionals to think about it that way, that it's our job to recognize what's going on in terms of a regulatory state and get people in a regulated state so that they can learn and grow. So what are the hurdles? The hurdles are what I call obstacles to staying within the band of regulation, the things that get in the way. Because they're obstacles to staying regulated, they're obstacles to all learning, both academic and social. I've identified 10. No student experiences all 10 of these hurdles. Each can be experienced in different degrees. They can be really high and really difficult for an individual to get over. They can be kind of medium, they can be low, or they can be experienced not at all. Now, as we go through these and identify them, you're going to recognize that some of these are hurdles for you too. However, most neurotypicals experience, at the most, kind of a medium difficulty getting over these hurdles, mostly low or not at all. For individuals with ASD, they experience a lot more difficulty in the high and medium range. So, the hurdles are keeping things the same, sticking to a routine. I like to stick to my routine, I'm sure you do too, but it becomes even more important for individuals with ASD. Attention challenges. Being able to stay focused, or to switch focus, or to come off of a focus on a preferred activity. This can be very challenging. Emotional regulation. Being able to really understand and control yourself when you are very excited, very upset, very frustrated, very tired. Being able to regulate your emotional life. Organizational deficits. This is very important. Organizing our lives, our work, our homework is all a brain-based function. And I believe that there's a significant delay for individuals with ASD in developing those skills. Language processing issues. Individuals with autism, Asperger's, pervasive developmental delay often have difficulty expressing their thoughts and feelings, and often have difficulty processing the verbal bombardment that's coming into their world. Associative thinking. Most of the young people I work with love associative thinking, but it drives the rest of us a bit crazy. We'll talk about that. Sensory sensitivities. This is the one that you probably know most about. Sensitivity to tight clothing, or the touch of the fabric, or the texture or the temperature of the food in their mouth. Sensitivity to light, sensitivity to temperature. We all know a little bit about this. It's a significant hurdle for most of our young people. Rituals. Now, I talked about keeping things routine, but a lot of people with ASD will get into a rigid ritual. And sometimes that is dysfunctional. It doesn't really help them accomplish tasks. We then need to talk about helping them change a ritual. Not stopping, but changing, adapting, replacing. Cultural stereotypes. This is the only hurdle that exists outside of young people with ASD. This is inside us. These are the biases which we use to look at their world and to make judgments. This is a significant hurdle. We need to help everybody in America learn about the gifts and the differences of people with ASD. And finally, motivational issues. When you're facing a lot of these hurdles and they're high or they're medium, it can be hard to stay motivated. Okay, thank you for watching this. You can go to my website to see additional videos. We're going to go over these hurdles in more detail in future videos. And you can find out more about me and this at my website. You can also listen to podcasts of radio interviews that I've been doing. So thanks again. Look for me on Facebook. There's my website and my phone number.